do you become a better listener in a language? If you can speak pretty well, but you can't always understand what people say back to you, you might need to switch up your methods so you can fully break through that sound barrier. Language learners often have the impression that if they listen a lot, if they listen every single day, eventually it's gonna just click. But there's more to it than that, and that's what we're gonna talk about today here at Jiveworld. Hey there guys, it's Elise from Jiveworld, and today I'm going to walk you through a handful of things, a handful of methods and exercises that you can switch up and implement into your language listening routine so you can finally break through the sound barrier and make that progress that you want. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First up, have you tried getting more interactive with your language listening content? If all that you do is sit down, pop in your earbuds, put on a podcast, and call it a day, I think that something needs to change for you. There are a lot of activities and exercises that you can work into your listening routine to really kind of get your hands dirty with the content and get a lot more involved, and this leads to a lot more retention, not just with how it sounds, but also, the specifics like vocabulary, grammar, just the overall feel of the language. You could do dictation. This is essentially where you sit down, listen to your content, whether it's your podcast, your video, your TV episode, and you just transcribe what you hear. This is a bit more intense of an exercise, so I wouldn't recommend doing like a 30-minute long podcast episode, but a good 5-10 minutes, a page full, whatever feels right to you. It could also be shadowing, which is where you imitate the content that you're listening, either simultaneously or consecutively, to build up to having a native accent. And we actually did a video on this recently, so go check it out. Or, and this is a really fun exercise that I love to do, is when you listen to a story or you listen to your piece of media and then afterwards you record yourself retelling it as if it was a friend's story that you just heard. Might be a little chismosa, but Moving on, have you considered using visual aids? While it's not entirely recommended to rely on things like subtitles and transcripts, it can be really useful to factor them in different ways. On the Jiveworld app, we always offer a full transcript for all of our stories, but what's really cool about it is what we call selective redaction. And this essentially lets you choose how much of the transcript you want to see. So you can start off with no words, some words, or the full transcript if you need. And we also offer a full translation in English if you need, but use it as a last resource. Don't jump straight to it. We believe in you. Stay strong. My favorite way to use a transcript or subtitles is to start off with no text, no visual aid, and just listen to the content, kind of digest it, and see how much I can capture on my own. And then after that first initial pass, I'll go back, turn on the subtitles, and kind of match it to confirm whether I had the right idea. In general, as long as you're using a visual aid more as a supplement instead of a crutch, you'll be golden. Lastly, my final tip for you guys today is to listen to your content at different speeds. The chances are, if you're practicing listening, you're either watching a YouTube video, like you are right now, or you're listening to a podcast, whether that's on Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever. And the good news is most viewing and listening platforms have speed control these days, so it's a very, very accessible thing to do. And the best part of it is that you're still listening to real natural spoken speech. You're just kind of, approximating and getting closer and closer to it with each bump. Because that's my preferred way of using the speed controls. I'll start at like half speed, then build my way up to 75%, and then go for the full 100 when I'm finally ready. So that's what's really cool about it. It's not all at once, you have a little bit more control over what you're listening to. This is especially a great thing to do if you're studying with Jiveworld because our speed controls are really customizable. It starts at 0.6 and then you can go to 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and then top off at 1.0. So it's not just, 50, 75, 100. We go a lot deeper than that. Once again, these are just a few quick modifications you can make to your listening routine, but they yield big results, okay? If your goal is to listen to your target language and, understand a piece of media on the first try, you don't get there just by listening over and over until it just clicks one day. You have to do certain exercises and certain things, like we said, like, getting your hands dirty with the content, playing with different speeds, quizzing yourself with transcripts, just being more involved in general with the audio or the video that you're consuming. That's how you get it to just click one day. Just being more involved in general with the audio or the video that you're consuming in your target language. If you like the video and want more content like this, make sure to like, share with a friend, and subscribe, and let us know down in the comments which of these listening tips or methods you'll be taking into your next listening session. Happy listening and stay Jiveworld fluent. See you guys.